So many of you have asked me if you should come back to WCC. You've been before, maybe even a couple of times, and you're curious about whether you should come back or not. What are you going to get from it? So we're going to share a couple of points with each other. We're going to discuss it and see what the benefits are of coming back to WCC, perhaps for a second time or a third time. And I think I'd like to kick this off by saying that...
Kick it, Chris.
I think that communication is something that I feel is something you're just constantly working on, right? So even looking at my own journey over this, let's take this last 12 months, right?
Yep.
I learned a couple of the principles last year, put them into practice, tried them out in sort of real scenarios. And this year I'm looking forward to coming back again, honing those principles again, but learning some new things too, putting them into practice. And I feel like there's a journey there, and you just evolve over time. There's no way that I was going to be able to take everything and put it all into practice and then master it in just a 12-month period. I feel like it's something that you want to constantly practice. And also, I want to get into an environment where I'm being challenged as well. So you can get soft a little bit actually when you're out there on the road. And I feel like...
But you bring up a good point there, because for those that have done this, when we are working with them, especially on stage, it's a different level of feedback. It's a different type of feedback depending on where they are and how far they've come. So if someone's never done it before, or if they're just getting going, if they're super fragile, it's different. And the things that I'm going to ask them to do, things I would push you to do, inspire you hopefully to do, are going to be at a different level as well. So I think that's one thing to consider. I think an important element of this, Chris, that it's important to me that is that we're going to do some new things this year. We've got some new principles that we're talking about, specifically how to be masterful at designing your slide decks to make sure that when you say, I'm ready to give a presentation, like you are really lock, stock, barrel. I mean, it is ready. It is going to be fluid and it's going to be great regardless of how long it is. If you have to chop it up, I'm telling you, we've got a really, really cool system. We talk about it in another video. It's called the pyramid test, but there's other elements that we're going to be doing. It's like, I've gotten better, hopefully. I'd like to think at teaching this, discussing it, some of the role plays that we're going to do, some of the group activities that we're going to do are going to be better. They're going to be more effective. Yeah. And like you said, it's like a good book, right? Or a good movie. It's like there's a reason why we watch them a second, a third time, because we all have to get better. It's so funny. We teach this stuff, and we just got through a series of videos. And because I was forced to do the videos, then I am now better at this moment than I was an hour ago in terms of my ability to communicate and apply the principles of WCC. We're all in this process. You've been with us before. We really, really do want you to be a part of it again. It's important that we have some different levels in the room. And our promise is this. If you don't feel like you got value that second or that third time, the refund's there. I mean, you're going to get refunded, because the last thing that Chris and I want is for you to say, it just wasn't worth it. That's the last thing we want. And so we want you to feel like, I came, I didn't know how much I was going to get, but my goodness, I got a ton from this second or this third time that I came. Any last bits on this, Chris?
I feel if you, having been 2-3 times on WCC, I think you learn a lot by putting it into practice. And you start to notice the gaps, and you start to feel where your strengths and weaknesses are. You come back to WCC again, you start honing in on the areas in which you can get better at and improve upon, and you can work on them in the room. And I also feel as though the way that we're structuring WCC now, I know we've definitely improved certain elements. We've got a different venue this year as well. We've structured the sort of options, the passes that you can get now as well. So I feel that there's options for everybody, right? So if you just want to come back to WCC for like a second time, and you just want to sit and watch Marcus work and coach and direct people on stage, you can do that. But if you want to come back to WCC and you want to take it up a level and get on that stage and have Marcus coach you for 45 minutes to an hour on the stage, then that's an option for you as well. So at each stage that you're at, coming back to WCC should be the event that you come to work on you and your communication. I think that's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
Is to be here. We want to be here for a long time, coming back every single year.
Every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
there's repetition makes all the difference. So we hope that addresses the concern. And again, I just want to stress, we really, really hope to see you there. We care about each one of you that have attended in the past. The grads, they're awesome. They make it what it is. They're the first ones.
I think
and so
they should all be there.
let's keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you there.